Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the USD Prescribing Research Network's annual meeting. This is our second meeting, and we're very excited to be connecting with you and are happy to have this opportunity. If we can go to the next slide. So as you're listening today, just a couple of announcements. First of all, the webinar is being recorded so that it'll be available on the website for those who are not able to join us today or not able to join the whole time. We're going to be running from today from 11 to about 2, and I'll give you the breakdown of the agenda Eastern time. And for those of you elsewhere, I realize it may feel early, and we're glad to have you wherever you are today. If you're on Twitter, please follow along with us. We're at DPrescribeUS, as you see here, and you can use the hashtag USDeN 2021. Next slide. So we just want to briefly run through some disclosures and acknowledgements. We are funded by the NIA with an R24, and we are deeply appreciative to the NIA for fostering this collaborative initiative. Mike and I have disclosures for work we do for American Geriatric Society and up to date writing chapters for them. The big thing here is we want to say thank you. We have a fantastic team who have pulled things together for us, including Melina Spar, Jonathan Norton, Gabrielle Schiller, Vanessa Duodo, Geraldine Puerto, and Tony Tiano. We also want to thank all of our speakers, our discussants, and for the small group moderators, which will come towards a little bit later in today's session. We also are grateful to our scientific advisory board, as well as our international partners. And we want to give a big thank you to Marcel Salive from the National Institute on Aging and the National Institute on Aging. Next slide. So here is our agenda. We're going to kick off with a little bit of a welcome address from Mike and myself. Mike's going to take over in just a minute. And then we're really excited about our keynote today is a fireside chat on how research can drive real-world improvement in deprescribing with Kedar Mate from IHI. We then will have a little bit of a break, but come back a minute or two early because we have a surprise as we kick off the next section, where we're going to hear about new research that has been funded by USDeN on deprescribing from Joshua Niznik, Gregory Uyet, and Ariel Green. We then are going to have some time in small group breakouts, which we hope is a good opportunity for you to network and to connect with other folks interested in deprescribing research. And we'll be giving you some more instructions about how you choose a breakout as we get closer to that time. We're really excited to have then, after that, to have some lessons on deprescribing from the patient and family perspective, which were orchestrated by our the USDeN Stakeholder Engagement Core. And then finally, we'll have some closing remarks. Next slide. So what is the network? The big news about the network is that while there are lots of structures and activities, it's really about all of you. Our goal is to help you. Our goal is to build a collaborative community that moves the field of deprescribing research forward. And so we wouldn't exist if it wasn't for all of the people who are interested in this topic. So as Mike that now describes some of the details about what we do, we just want to emphasize the fact that our goal is to help you, and please reach out, and we're interested in your ideas and thoughts as we build and continue to move forward. So over to you, Mike.
Great, thanks, Cynthia. So Cynthia said the most important thing, the network is all of us. But I'll take the next few minutes just to briefly overlay for you what are some of the specific activities that we're doing in network. And as you listen, I was sort of keep in particular mind which one of these might be especially helpful for you. All the information I'm about to share is on our website, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We really want to be as open and helpful to you as possible. So our first pillar of activities for the network is around investigator development. And we have a core on this that's led by Ken Bookvar and Jen Chia. And the focus of these activities is to really develop community and collaborations and career development around deep prescribing research. So for that, we host a series of webinars. Information about this, it can be found on our website, but also in our monthly newsletter. If you're not already getting our monthly newsletter, please make sure to join the network. Go either send us an email or just go to the home page and there's a big red join button there. What joining basically means is you get in our listserv. So we promise not to spam you, but we will give you a monthly email update about upcoming activities. In addition to the webinars, we have a junior investigator intensive program, which gets together a dozen or so sort of fellows and junior faculty across different disciplines and provides them sort of an intensive year-long curriculum and for works in progress conferences and different curricular activities to really build their own research in deep prescribing and have a chance to both network with each other and with experts in the field. We have a collaboration grant mechanism, and that basically is anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s. If you have an idea that you can bring people together to kickstart a collaboration, whether it be investigator or investigators and stakeholders, just a little seed money just to get something started, we have a mechanism for that. So please reach out. Admissions for that are on a rolling basis, so it's open anytime. And of course, we have our annual meeting. So I mentioned our junior investigator development program, and we're really pleased to announce 13 junior investigators who are selected for our intensive program for the upcoming cohort. We just graduated our first cohort, and our second cohort is really a phenomenal group. And as you can see from the list here, it includes physicians, it includes pharmacists, it includes social scientists and others, spread out not only across the US, but with nice international representation as well. Our next kind of bucket of activities are pilot and grant planning awards. And these activities are led by Sandra Simmons and Amanda Mixon. And the goal here is to support early stage research in deep prescribing that has high potential to develop into cool stuff, large projects in the future. And so for this, we fund both pilot awards as well as grant planning awards, which are awards targeted towards more mid or senior level investigators who basically need money to kind of prepare a large grant project like an R01 or something equivalent. For both of these, the total amount of funding available is $60,000 per project over 1 year. That includes both direct and indirect funds. Investigators outside of the US are eligible to apply, and our RFA for our next cycle is going to be released this fall with the due date for applications due sometime in January or February. We recently completed the last cycle, and we're really thrilled to announce kind of 5 recipients of our pilot and grant planning awards whose projects will be starting kind of late this summer. And those, in the interest of time, I won't go into detail on all of them, but Maria Papaliantiu, Minji Kwok, Nagam Alabuni, Jinjiao Wang, and Matthew Dupree are doing a series of projects across a range of both methodologies and topics that really hit this very sort of broad area of what we consider deep prescribing research. And sort of more to come on that. Our next pillar of activities is stakeholder engagement. And this core is led by Catherine Sarkeesian, Nikki Brandt, and Carmen Reyes. And the basic idea here is to engage stakeholders and community partners so that the research that we as investigators do is maximally relevant to the populations we're trying to serve. And we try to sort of sprinkle stakeholder engagement throughout all of the activities of our network. They help review pilot studies, they participate in webinars, they participate in dissemination. We have a stakeholder council that Nikki, Carmen, and Catherine have put together that really has helped facilitate this process. We recently held a webinar on stakeholder engagement featuring a bunch of community partners that was very informative. It's archived on our website, so I encourage you to check it out. We have a data and resources core that's led by Sasha Dublin and Liz Bayless. And the idea here is we want to develop resources and provide supports to help you with your own research. So some of the activities that occur here is we've developed and are continue to develop a series of compendia and repositories about useful information for you as a deep prescribing researcher. So one of the things we did over this past year, for example, was create a depository of DSMB and IRB materials related to deep prescribing research. And this was in response to seeing that a bunch of people, when they put forth, clinical trials and other studies of deep prescribing research, the issues around DSMBs and IRBs are kind of special and not always easy to figure out. And so here we have a series of templates about other people who have done it successfully which can be a model for you as you craft your own documents. We're doing ongoing activities about data development, data harmonization and management, which we'll briefly touch on later. And we also have a consultation services program. And the idea here is if you are doing your deep prescribing research project, deep prescribing kind of broadly framed, and you have a targeted question that you want to get the input of an expert on, whether it be around a methodology or a topic area or interpretation, we have a mechanism to do that for a 1-hour virtual consultation with an expert in the field. So again, please reach out to us. The information is available on our website, but we would love just to make maximal use of these resources to help you. And then our final bucket of activities is we have a series of working groups that are led by Shelley Gray, by Liz and Sasha, and by Terry Freed. And these are developing sort of high value resources that basically provide kind of big level overviews about where we as deep prescribing researchers should be moving as a field and best practices. So Shelley and Liz have been each working on projects that are nearing completion around identifying high value targets for deep prescribing and also optimal measures to use in deep prescribing research. And the sort of publications and results of that work that will hopefully be coming out shortly. Sasha is leading a data harmonization collaborative where we have 5 different health systems, each with different electronic health records, working together to figure out how to integrate their EHRs, not integrate, but how each of their EHRs can be used to measure constructs relevant to deep prescribing, and then how each of these can kind of work across different sites, for example, to plan a multi-site or comparative trial of deep prescribing. And there's a larger group of people who are also interested who Sasha has helped convene in kind of a larger secondary work group. So we're really excited about that. It's underway, but hopefully will yield great things to come. And Terry will be leading a project coming in the next year around deep prescribing communication best practices. So as I mentioned, all of this information is on our website. Please check it out, deepprescribingresearch.org. You see that big button on the top right, join the network. So if you haven't already done so, please do so that you can get our newsletter and just have an update on what's what. And follow us on Twitter at deepprescribeus. And as is mentioned several times, please do reach out. We want to be here to be helpful.